It's a crisp fall morning, the kind where the air smells like hay and possibility, and I step out to feed my goats only to find a sleek, black Maserati squatting right in front of my barn door like it's claiming territory. The chrome so polished it's practically winking at me. The tires don't have a speck of dirt, and it's parked dead center, blocking the only way I can get my tractor out to do my work. And who's standing there, arms crossed, sipping a latte like she's on a magazine cover? None other than Linda, the HOA dictator who thinks her signature on a clipboard is a royal decree. I'm Jake, by the way, born and raised on this 40-acre patch of earth in Willow Creek, Tennessee. This farm's been in my family for 3 generations. Me grandpa planted the pecan trees. My dad built the barn with his own calloused hands, and I've spent my 48 years keeping alive. It's not just dirt and wood to me. It's blood, sweat, and every lesson I've ever learned about what it means to hold your ground. But Linda? She's new money, new rules, new everything. She rolled into our quiet corner of the world about 5 years ago when city folks started buying up land for their McMansions, drawn by the charm of country living without the grit. And Linda, well, she's the queen bee of the HOA, the kind of woman who'd fine you for a crooked mailbox and call it community standards. That morning, though, she didn't just park her fancy car, she threw down a gauntlet. I walked up, boots crunching on gravel, and said, "Linda, you gotta move this thing. I need to get my tractor out to feed the goats." She didn't even look up from her phone, just flicked her wrist like she was shooing a fly. "Oh, Jake, relax. My driveway's being repaved, and I needed a spot. Your little farm chores can wait, can't they?" Her voice had that fake sweet drawl, the kind that hides a knife. I felt my jaw tighten. "This ain't a parking lot, Linda. My goats don't eat on your schedule." She finally looked up, her designer sunglasses glinting. "Maybe it's time you modernized, Jake. This whole barnyard vibe, it's dragging down our property values." And there it was, a real game. She didn't just want her car there. She wanted me gone. My farm flattened into another subdivision with names like Serenity Hills that have no hills and no serenity. See, Linda's been after me since she moved in. First, it was my rooster waking her up at dawn. "Sorry, lady, he's not setting an alarm clock." Then it was the smell of my compost pile, the sound of my chainsaw, even the way my fence posts weren't uniform. One time, she marched over during harvest and demanded I cover my hay bales because they looked messy from the road. I asked if she wanted me to knit sweaters for my goats, too. She didn't laugh. Linda doesn't laugh unless she's winning. And the HOA board? They're her personal fan club, mostly her yoga buddies or folks too scared to cross her. I tried playing nice, kept my dogs on my land, even quit blaring Merle Haggard at sunrise, but nothing was ever enough. To Linda, my farm wasn't just an eyesore. It was a personal insult to her vision of a perfect neighborhood. That Maserati, though, that was her crossing a line. Blocking my barn door wasn't just inconvenient, it was a chokehold on my livelihood. Without that tractor, I can't haul feed, can't tend the fields, can't keep this place running. My goats were already bleeding, pacing in their pen, and I could feel the clock ticking. I tried reasoning one more time. "Linda, move the car, or we're going to have a problem." She smirked, leaning against her precious machine. "Problem? Jake, you're the problem. I could have you fined for threatening me. Read the HOA handbook sometime." That smirk lit a fire in me, but I knew her game. She wanted me to lose it, to give her an excuse to call the board, the cops, anybody who'd back her up. So I walked away, her laugh chasing me like a swarm of wasps. But as I headed to my porch, something shifted. I grew up fixing problems, fences, floods, stubborn soil land. I learned early that some fights you don't win with words. You win with action. And out here, action means horsepower. My old Massey Ferguson tractor's been with me through everything: storms, droughts, even pulling a neighbor's truck out of a ditch. It's not just a machine, it's a partner. And that morning, it was about to become my sword. I gave diplomacy one last shot. I called the sheriff's office, got Deputy Carter on the line, a good kid who grew up around farms. I explained the situation, how Linda's car was strangling my work. He sighed. Jake, it's private property, and HOA stuff's a civil mess. Unless she's trespassing or causing harm, my hands are tied. I could hear Linda's voice in my head, bragging about her husband's donations to the sheriff's fund. I hung up, feeling the weight of it all. Then I tried the HOA board that night, standing in their air-conditioned clubhouse, surrounded by bottled water and smug faces. I laid it out Linda's car, my barn, my goats starving. Linda cut me off, all sugar and venom. Jake, it's just a few hours. Your animals aren't dying. The board nodded like trained dogs. One guy, Greg, mumbled about shared spaces and community value. I snapped. Shared spaces? That's my damn barn. But they just shuffled papers and promised to review the rules. I left with nothing, but Linda's smug grin burned into my brain. By the next morning, that Maserati was still there, gleaming like a middle finger. My goats were restless, my fields untended, and I was done. I walked up to Linda one last time, hands up like a white flag. Move it, Linda. Let's end this. She laughed, sharp and cold. Jake, your farm's the problem, not my car. If you don't like progress, sell and move to some backwater where you belong. That was it. Her words didn't just sting, they burned away every ounce of patience I had left. I didn't yell. I just turned and headed for the tractor shed, her laughter ringing behind me. Go play with your toys, Jake, she called. Oh, I would. And she was about to learn what kind of toy I had. The shed door groaned open, and there was me, Massey Ferguson, green and battered, smelling of oil and earth. I ran my hand over the hood, warm from yesterday's work, and heard my dad's voice in my head. When someone blocks your way, son, you don't ask permission. You plow through. I climbed in, the seat creaking like an old friend, and turned the key. The engine roared, shaking the ground, scattering birds from the trees. Linda flinched, her coffee spilling as she squinted toward me. For the first time, her smirk faltered. I rolled the tractor out, slow and steady, the crowd of neighbors gathering at the fence, phones out, whispering like they bought tickets to a show. Linda strutted forward, hands on hips. Jake, don't you dare touch my car. That's a $250,000 Maserati. You'll be in court for years. I leaned out of the cab, calm as a summer breeze. Then move it. She didn't. She stood there, daring me, betting I wouldn't have the guts. Big mistake. I lowered the front loader, the hydraulics hissing like a snake ready to strike. The bucket gleamed, heavy and unforgiving. Jake, stop. Linda shrieked, her voice cracking. I didn't answer. The tractor rumbled forward, tires chewing the dirt, each inch closing the gap to her precious car. The neighbors went quiet, the air thick with anticipation. The bucket kissed the Maserati's hood with a crunch that echoed like a gunshot. Metal folded, chrome snapped, and the emblem hit the dirt like a fallen crown. Linda screamed, "My car! You're insane!" But I wasn't listening. I pushed harder, the windshield shattering, glass spraying like confetti. The car groaned, its frame buckling under the tractor's weight. Tires popped, airbags burst, and that sleek machine turned into a twisted heap of arrogance. The crowd erupted, some gasping, some cheering, one old guy yelling, "Give her hell, Jake." Linda fell to her knees, clutching her head like she'd lost everything. "I'll sue you. You'll lose this dump." I killed the engine and climbed down, boots hitting the ground hard. "Should have moved it when I asked," I said, my voice low but clear. The neighbors roared, some laughing, some filming. Linda's mascara ran, her perfect facade crumbling with her car. Deputy Carter showed up, his cruiser kicking up dust. He stared at the wreckage, then at me, trying not to grin. "Jake, what the hell happened?" I shrugged. Car was blocking my barn. I asked her to move it. She didn't. Tractor needed out. I pulled out a worn copy of the state's Agricultural Protection Act, something I keep handy for days like this. Says here, blocking livestock access is a violation. Doesn't matter if it's a car or a castle. Carter nodded, flipping through his notepad. Linda, you're getting a citation for obstruction. Jake, you'll need to file for damages, but this looks justified. Linda wailed, a citation? I'm the victim. But the neighbors weren't buying it. One called out, "You've been a bully too long, Linda." Another added, "Time for a new HOA president." That night, as I sat on my porch with a cold beer, the stars bright above, I felt lighter than I had in years. The goats were fed, the barn door open, and Linda's laughter was gone, replaced by the sweet memory of crunching metal. The HOA board ousted her a week later, her empire of fines and rules collapsing under the weight of neighbors who'd had enough. The scarred patch of dirt where her Maserati died, I left it there, a reminder that no one, not even a queen with a fancy car, can choke out a way of life built on grit. But I know Linda's not done. She's out there, plotting, waiting for another shot. And I'll be ready, because this farm, this land, it's more than dirt, it's who I am. So what about you? Ever had a Linda try to bulldoze your life with their rules or their ego? What would you do if someone parked their fancy car in your way? Drop your story in the comments. I want to hear it. And if you like this tale of tractor justice, hit subscribe, because out here in Willow Creek, the drama's always just a barn door away.